Steve Ells, current CEO of Chipotle, is stepping down, and March 5th, 2018, Brian Nichols, the current CEO of Taco Bell, is taking over. Steve Ells, the founder of Chipotle, will be stepping exclusively into the chairman role, and Brian Nichols will take over as CEO starting March the 5th. Structurally, it's a good move because, as we know, Taco Bell, part of Yum Brands, and Yum Brands has their own CEO. So, Brian Nichols was used to having someone strong over the top with input, such as you will find with the founder, Steve Ells, how he and the board will exert their opinion and be more hands-on with their CEO than a traditional CEO board chairman relationship. So from that aspect, it makes a good fit for Brian Nichols. He should fit in real well because he was the CEO of Taco Bell, which is part of Yum Brands, which includes Pizza Hut and KFC, and is an overarching big boss CEO that you have to used to answering to as well. That being said, Brian Nichols at Taco Bell, he oversaw the inauguration of the Cantina Bell menu. He was there for that period of time as he was climbing up the ladder at Taco Bell, because he was with Yum Brands prior to that in a role for the Pizza Hut brand. Once Brian Nichols got into the driver's seat, he introduced the Doritos Locos Tacos, which went over very well. The AM breakfast, which has gone over well, and also the nacho fries, which is currently catching on, that was recently released. So that's good. And he was there as Taco Bell was making this transition into mobile and online orderings, and as Taco Bell was implementing their new revamped dollar menu. I think Brian Nichols will have success at minimum because Chipotle is just lagging behind in comparison to competition when it comes to Qdoba and Moe's, just from a product offering standpoint. You can't get loaded nachos at Chipotle, but you can get it at Moe's and you can get it at Qdoba, its biggest competitors. Chipotle keeps it pretty basic. Okay, cool. But you also need some other offerings as well. Yes, food with integrity is important, but good tasty food and a good selection is important as well. But you also have to realize, dealing with Chipotle, is that it's not necessarily attracting any food snobs. It's just attracting some people that might see it as somewhat health benefits of the way they handle their food and saying, hey, it's all whole food, non-processed, etc. Even though that can be somewhat food snobbish, because everyone has a study that's saying this and that is bad, or don't eat this. This has a certain percentage chance of increasing cancer or any other illness or any other kind of health issues. But you have to realize something going from like a 0.00, like 5 zeros and a 1, and reducing that to 4 zeros in front is a 10% increase, which is still very less than 1%. You have to look at the math when these studies are put out by different people with agendas. That's just the way it is. You have people that will bash meat, and then people that come back with another study saying, no, it's okay, it's all good, eat it in moderation, or eat as much, or it's perfectly fine, or it reduces stress, or that stress will kill you faster than not eating this product. So you have to take that with a grain of salt. But what I will say about Chipotle, that it is high calorie and it can be high sodium, depending on what you're getting. I know when I was frequenting Chipotle very often, 2010, 2011, it's easy to put on some pounds more than you expected, especially when I was going there twice a day because it tastes good, hear about the health benefits, but you got to actually pay attention to the calories at a certain point. And if you're not doing much physical activity, if you just at a job, sitting around, desk, office, what have you, you can easily put on some extra weight. But it's a good product, tasty product, filling product, and it'd be good for anybody that's getting a good amount of activity if they want to eat in a large quantity, and it'd be definitely good for athletes or someone, even not even a full-time athlete, just someone getting in shape and doing quite a bit of walking, something along those lines. That being said, people are there for the good taste and they like how the ingredients are sourced and integrity. But once again, it's not going to attract food snobs because it's a chain, so someone's always going to have beef for that. They'd rather go to that taco truck, even though it probably won't have the same quality ingredients or a local establishment. They say, but what I want is experience and I want is authentic and I don't want to deal with the chains, etc. And if it's a chain, it can't be good. So you're never really going to attract those people at all. Point blank, period. So you just want to focus on your core customer and try to pull in some other people from the fast food and fast casual crowd to jump in and pull away people from Moe's, pull away people from Qdoba, and maybe Taco Bell to an extent. And just some simple fixes in terms of menu variety. I mean, can we get possibly a taco salad? Is that possible? With that shape of the taco shell and put the ingredients in it instead of just the bowl? Maybe that could happen. Can we get a value menu at Chipotle? Because we know just the taco alone can be from $7 to $8 or even more depending on where you live. And that's not including chips, nachos, whatever, and a drink. It doesn't include that. So maybe they could also incorporate some kind of value menu. Probably maybe items priced, probably maybe some $4 menu items. However they want to do that. Where you can just get a taste and maybe powder it up, or you could also use those value menu items as a side to the main dish. So when you're spending $8 on that burrito, hey, for $4, get this additional value menu side as well, or you can stack up, get 3 side $4 value menu dishes, and get up to about $12. So it could depend. I don't know how cheap they're gonna be able to go, just based on how they source their food, and obviously they're not gonna use any type of fillers. They use steak and chicken and pork and things of that nature. So it can only be but so cheap. But hey, maybe it has some value options as well. And they could also add in a reward loyalty type of program. I think that would go far. Qdoba has it, and it works out pretty good for them. With that tiers based on the amount of visits you made, and at a certain point you can get cheaper sides, cheaper drinks, etc. So a rewards program for Chipotle, I can see that working out pretty well. I think the app is getting better. I over the last several years, even though I don't go as much as I used to, but I do prefer using the app. I'm not waiting in line at Chipotle. The only time I got back to waiting in lines when I had that scare with some foodborne illnesses, and it got blown way out of proportion. That even during rush hour, the place that would normally be packed to the door was just a few people, so I would just go ahead, walk in, and get it made up, and get my burrito made up at that point in time. But normally, I just like to order for the menu. Order from the online app menu. Pay that way, go in and just pick it up. I really don't want to wait in line. There's time I used to wait 30 minutes in line when it was extremely crowded out the door, and that was the early part of this decade. So with a few simple changes, just to get in line with its competitors, that'll bring great success to Chipotle. And then with Brian Nichols having some sort of a knack for innovation, maybe he could come up with a few new products, and then he'd be great. He'd be worth his weight in his pay, worth whatever they're paying him, because of just a few simple basic things to get him in line that will help the stock price elevate. And with his new additions, that I suspect will happen, and it can get it even higher. They just have to be knowledgeable of who their true base is, and add some more variety. Just some simple things. And I think Chipotle got a little too stuck in his ways, because as long as you keep your principles of that food with integrity, which they base it on in natural ingredients, you can still be creative within those confinements. Because I feel creativity in general comes from limitation. So if you already have that limitation of food with integrity, you can still be creative within that. It should be easier to be creative than having something that's all over the place. And hopefully they can fix their queso, which I heard was pretty bad. I haven't tried it yet, but a lot of people didn't like it. And as we know, a lot of times authentic queso is just a lot of processed cheese and what have you. There's nothing wrong with it, but they couldn't go that route because they still had an integrity thing where they couldn't just go for the flat out taste like a Taco Bell or a Qdoba or Moe's could do. So, that's fine. They put in a constraint. They just gotta work around it and come up with something new. A better tasting queso, and I believe Brian Nichols can do it. And obviously the easy thing is loaded nachos, and then go from there. But that's just my prediction for Chipotle. I feel that the company will turn around in terms of stock wise, and in terms of customers. It's a good hire, and I see them being successful and reclaiming the imagination of the people and bringing back some customers. That's my take, and I'm out. Iceberg Jim out. Deuces.